What's up, guys? Just finished a workout. Filmed the video with Nate Desmond last night from Penn State. I'm super excited for this video to come out, as it's our first video. Nate talked about a ton of things. I'm really excited for everyone to get to see this video. I'm about to edit it, and then we're going to get it out tonight, actually. Welcome to Top Talent Talks. I'm your host, Peyton Brown. Today we'll be sitting down with Penn State wrestler, wildcard freshman Nate Desmond. Thanks for joining us, Nate. Appreciate you having you on here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. I watched an interview with you and the Locked On Nittany Lions guy. I think his name was Zach. He did a really nice job. Watch so I can kind of stay away from questions he asked. I don't want to
Gotcha.
beat a dead horse and read into the same questions. All right. To start this off, let's talk about the Black Knight invite. You had a huge win against a ranked Cooper Flynn, extremely dominant. Talk me through your first ranked win and how that match went.
Yeah, well, that match in particular, I kind of started out a little slow, or like, at least I viewed it that way. And then I realized, like, that was kind of the difference of college wrestling is I feel like guys feel each other out a lot more. So initially in that first period, obviously, I had a hard time with the hand fight, and then I kind of just was patient and waited for my opportunities, and stuff started to open up. So I ended up doing all right. But yeah,
Absolutely. Before we talk about the rest of that tournament, it was under my impression that you were redshirting this year. Um, I want to know, like, prior plans before that tournament. What was your mindset? Were you redshirting? Are you still redshirting?
well, eh, I don't think I'm the guy to ask. I don't even
Fair
really
enough.
know to this point. Like,
Okay.
and a lot of the decisions that are made are like above me. Like, I just kind of go with the flow. As far as like, I was just looking for an opportunity to wrestle. Obviously,
Yeah.
whether it was at whatever tournament, and it happened to be the Black Knight. So I kind of was just asking like, hey guys, like, what would I be able to do? What's the first thing I should be getting prepared for? And they told me that one. So I was excited to have an opportunity just to wrestle. I didn't really care too much about redshirting or anything. Like, I kind of just view it all the same. It's really just like wrestling is such a small part of my life, I feel like, and a lot of wrestlers, but they make it such a big deal. And so for me, that was something when I got here that I tried to change. Is just being able to adapt and help the team and just appreciate like the opportunities I have because I'm lucky for sure. But
Yeah, I feel like that's like an incredible mindset to have, especially as a freshman coming in. Like, having the mindset of, wrestling is like, that's not my identity, right? Like,
right, yeah,
that's what I feel like you're getting at. And you also notched two more rankings in Charlie Farmer and teammate Luke Lilladall, which we won't get into that. But I was doing some research and saw some past events that's not the first time you and Luke have wrestled.
no, Luke used to beat me up when I was not even that long ago, and obviously we're really close. So,
Yeah.
um, like it was definitely a weird. I won't say like a weird environment, but obviously like when you wrestle a teammate, it's always going to be different, and especially a teammate for years. I mean, so we're pretty tight even still. Like I feel like that match kind of brought us closer together because it's like, now we try to help each other even more. So I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, we saw you this weekend bump all the way up to 141. Uh,
Yeah,
Seems like you're having that, like you said, you're taking the opportunity, you're seizing these moments, next
right.
man up mentality. But I also saw an interview with Coach Kale. He said you weighed in, was it 138?
Yeah. So, I mean, logistically, there's a lot of things that we have to do as a team to make sure that guys can um, fill certain spots or whatever. And like for me, especially, it was just hard because I cut a decent amount to get down to 25. And they help out a lot, so it's not like I'm killing myself. But
Right.
at the same time, I mean, I definitely walk around a little heavier probably than most 125s. And I think like my mentality, as we were just talking about, is like I just want an opportunity, right? So I saw an opportunity to wrestle, and I told the coaches, I was like, hey, like I'm pretty big. Like if you guys need me to do anything, like I'll be ready. Just know that. And
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
guess they were kind of like they started to kind of believe it. I think like as much as almost I did. and they gave me a shot, so I appreciated that.
Yeah. So talk me through being at 141. Like, how big is that adjustment from going from 125 and then just bumping up two weight classes in like 2 weeks or however long it was?
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I tried to view it as like wrestling's wrestling, right? Like a good wrestler is going to be good at any weight.
Sure.
Um, but as far as like, going up, like a lot of the challenges weren't so much like strength like I thought they would be. It's more like my position has to be better, and so just small stuff like that. Obviously, I would get away with a lot just because I was pretty big for 25 at that
Yeah.
tournament. I feel like. Um, so like for a match at 41, I mean, it's still wrestling, but I just have to be a little more sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like you're using, like you kind of mentioned it, I guess, but do you feel like you're using like angles and um, a little bit more efficiently or like using your head more at 41, or do you think you're just still going out and letting it fly?
I mean, I think it's still kind of the same approach. Something I've been consistently trying to work on since I got here is just keeping good position because I can scramble like pretty well and I can move well and I can get angles. It's just a matter of not giving up my position when I do those things.
Sure.
Um, so like for 41, I mean, it's kind of the same deal. Like I'm not going to treat it any different. And obviously like that was a test like for me too. Like I want those challenges. So
Yeah.
like I don't want to shy away. Like if I get an opportunity to wrestle
Yeah,
whoever, I'm gonna do it. So that's just kind of how I was viewing it.
sure. Now, kind of off that, what's the biggest adjustment? You were wrestling in high school, I don't know, 9 months ago.
Yeah.
That's the biggest adjustment from high school wrestling to, some of the highest level wrestling that you're at now?
Um. I mean, I don't know. It's tricky because I guess like just the approach of it, right? Like especially like my high school is very different. Obviously, every high school is different from this place. This place is extraordinary in the way they do things. Like they have a plan and no one's really like complain like in high school you come across people who are like like let's not do this like they're just super negative. I feel like here we don't have that, so that is like the biggest thing.
Are
I
you
think
talking
that's
like
helped.
technique and moves? Like they never say, "Hey, don't do
well
that."
well yeah, that, and like they understand that you have your own process, but in addition it's also like when you're walking around the locker room, like no one's down on themselves like, oh, we have to practice. And I
Yeah,
feel like at high schools, just because some people just wrestle to wrestle or because
yep.
their parents make them, and so like that is not really something we encounter here, and I think that's what is like the biggest difference for us.
It's we get to practice rather than man, we have to practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, kind of moving into the wrestling room aspect side of things, who is your main guy you go with if you have a main guy?
um I mean, there's definitely a couple, right? And I think what's interesting about our room is like as soon as I got on campus, like everyone was ready to help me. Like anyone I go with, especially the older guys. Like I wrestled today alone. I wrestled Shane, but I wrestled him a bunch. Like he has a good feel and he's always willing to help in positions when I'm struggling. And then same Zane helps me a lot because we kind of wrestle some. I mean, I don't want to say I'm the same, but
Yeah.
we have some similar tendencies on top and bottom, and like I want to emulate his process of just kind of
Yeah.
going to get things and obviously like just breaking guys and not wanting them to wrestle you again. So that's just kind of
There's
why I
a lot of
gravitate. Yeah,
okay. Now, I mean, you just listed Shane, but there are obviously some pretty decent wrestlers in that room.
right.
Who are some of the biggest leaders on your team?
Yeah. Well, like we said, Shane, but I would say everyone kind of looks toward Levi. I think just because he's been around, he's pretty much been through a lot. Like as far as wrestling, like he's seen everything. Um, I mean, what's interesting is there's so many leaders that it's like, you know, that's
Yeah.
just how the program is. Like you just have to step up. Like you are a leader just for being there, and that's kind of how I view all of our guys. They're willing to help me, and even Braden and some other guys that I wrestle, like they're always helping me with technique. So yeah, so like just pretty much everybody. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. You said that you were rolling with Shane Van Ness before this. Was that just you two? And then, like, are there extra workouts often?
Yeah, so I mean, our practices are, I mean, they're different pretty much every time, but a lot of the time it's like get a guy and on your own like you're gonna just work out and you can kind of pick the time. We have finals week too, so obviously um that like changes things, but Yeah, so today we just had a practice. It was kind of just like play wrestling and stuff like that, like just normal stuff. I mean, it's wrestling. Like, there's no need to make it like too big a deal. Like, pretty much everybody, I mean, wrestles the same way. It's a normal practice, you know. But I
Sure.
think just the approach is different. Like, especially like each of us as individuals view practices like completely different than I've ever seen. So yeah.
Yeah, so my next question was going to be lead me through a practice, but it kind of sounds like we kind of just did that. How often are you guys going live? Are you guys going live often or no?
I mean, it depends. It's kind of, I mean, it's pretty similar to a high school practice. Like, um,
No
and
secret
we all,
sauce.
yeah, I mean, we're just wrestlers, but like, you know, I think what we do well is just keeping things calm and like just not worrying too much. I think that's because a lot of the time when you care so much about something, it's like, you know,
It
to
hurts you
worry
more than
about
it
it, it's
helps
just
you.
gonna bring you back. Like, there's no reason to, you
Yeah,
know, overdo anything.
absolutely.
So, oh yeah, so it's like pretty much everyone in that room's their own, you know,
Yeah,
leader. I'll say
absolutely.
so.
Now, with all this training and like, what are your folk style long term goals and your freestyle long term goals as well?
Um, I mean, I have a ton, but I like to keep them kind of personal. It's just
Yeah, fair enough.
a lot of the time when you share them, it's just like, you know, you get all these opinions, and I really don't like I
Yeah, no
especially
worries.
after being here, I just worry about getting better at wrestling. Like, that's the biggest goal every day. That's the same focus. It doesn't change. It's the
I
same process. So
I tend to see some of the best guys say, you can't, obviously the saying Rome wasn't built in a day, but like
yeah,
a lot of the guys' answers that I see or I talk to or whatever, they always say like getting better at wrestling. It's so cliche to say, but like
yeah,
focusing on, if you come in, you're excited to work on one specific thing, like that will make you into, obviously you want to be a national champion, um,
right.
things like that, rather than just coming in and saying every day, "Yeah, I want to be a national champion." Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel as if there's a different approach that's been popular lately.
Yeah, exactly.
What made you decide Penn State was the fit? Because obviously you had a couple options.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky enough to actually get a decent amount of attention from colleges and stuff. So it was cool at first, and then it was like, oh boy, like this is a huge deal. Like, I gotta, you know, I kind of gotta find where I'm gonna belong. I've always grown up in Pennsylvania. I've been a Pennsylvania kid since I was, you know, born. So we've always been around Penn State, and like for me personally, like watching Zane and those guys when I was a little kid was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it was like my NFL football. Like, I
yeah.
really didn't pay attention to football much, and like it was pretty much like I would travel to tournaments and I would ask my dad like, can I go to bed an hour later just to watch these guys? And he would be like, no, dude, you got to get ready. Like, if you want to wrestle, you got to be ready to wrestle. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so it's just like it's kind of just always I've been around it, and my aunt graduated from here, and like when I was born, there was like a Penn State football game on the TV. So like there's just like stories like that, like,
Yeah, you
and
had
I've
you
kind
had
of
to go there.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like obviously I tried to take it super serious because I don't want to make a rash decision or anything like that.
Sure.
But I mean, it was likely gonna be Penn State. So
Yeah. Have you been to any football games?
yeah, the football games are super cool. Obviously, the environment's insane, and the fans
Absolutely.
always show out like no matter the event. So,
Especially the
I
wide
mean,
outs.
yeah, they're sweet. So I think my visit was an Ohio State whiteout, so that was nice.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, so those are all like those are fun to go to and show support for the other teams as well, the other
yeah,
athletes
cool.
here. So
Cool. What does your nutrition look like there? How are you? You say you're a heavy 25. What are you eating to, make sure, you're not, heck, who knows? You might bump up to 57 before the season's over.
yeah, I mean, uh, obviously, like, you know, if I'm taking in a decent amount of calories, I can't be putting too many bad ones in. So just kind of focusing on, you know, just keeping it simple. I mean, simple fruit foods are always the best. Fruit stuff like that, like pretty much anything that comes about naturally or is already, you know, on the earth and doesn't really get touched by too many chemicals. Like, that's what I prioritize. So
Okay.
I just kind of view it as like, obviously I get help from coaches and insight and stuff like
Sure.
during like certain events, but like I just try to think about it as well. If it wasn't here, if God didn't make it, like probably shouldn't touch it. So
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Okay, last question of the intro is, flow team rankings were just added and
right.
updated. It has Ohio State at 1, Iowa at 2, and Penn State at 3. What do you think about that?
I mean, the thing with the rankings is like even individual rankings. It's like, dude, it doesn't really even matter. Like the NCAA tournament is the pinnacle of the sport, and it's like other than like freestyle wrestling,
Sure.
and it's like, why am I gonna bother sitting here worrying about whatever ranking when it's like there's so much more to do,
Yeah,
So
no, yeah. And well, I also think like I saw some dudes say that Flow Wrestling is rage baiting the wrestling community. I personally don't see a world where Iowa or Ohio State beats Penn State, but I was looking on Flow and I just I saw that's everywhere on social media, so I had to just ask.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like a lot of people are kind of it's tricky because it's like obviously like we all have to grow this sport, and so like however that gets done, that has to get done. But I mean, obviously like there's factors that aren't always brought up, but
Yeah,
it's no
no,
big deal really.
yeah, fair enough. All right. The next segment we're going to do is called the Quickfire Five. It's just 5 questions that you answer quickly, whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Who is the funniest guy on your team?
Uh, I'm gonna have to say Masa Ono, and he's funny because like he'll like it's not just because he doesn't understand, but like he sets things up well, and his answers are so simple. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like it just comes off super funny at times. Like I remember we were traveling. I think we had recruits and we were going to go bowling in the van, and there was people out drinking on the street, and Masa was like, "These people are all stupid," and we all just started laughing because he's just so himself, and I think
Yeah.
that's something that can be funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious. We were in Vegas for the U.S. Open back in April. One of the guys I was coaching there, he's like, "Oh man, like there's Ono," and he pulled up a video, and it was I think it was Marcus Blaze and him like hanging out in somebody's house, and he kept trying to say rules.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure you've
I was
seen.
just at I was at that same house yesterday. We did like a team Christmas thing. Connor always hosts us all over, but yeah, what's good about Masa, like he learns things so fast. Like he's already, I mean, if you compare his English to the summer, like to now, it's insane. Like he just figures things out.
So, based off of that, and it sounds like I'm about to get proved wrong. I was arguing slash talking with my teammates this morning. How much better, like, how much better, how good is he on bottom, like on the mat? Because obviously he's one of the best. He might be the best in the world on his feet.
Yeah. Well, if you think about like freestyle wrestling, it seems like it's very different. But when you consider the fact that like tilts are pretty similar to gut wrenches, and
Sure.
the only real difference is being able to say like, hey, instead of you laying down on bottom, we need you to get up. And honestly, that's a simple fix. Like his position on his feet, his elbows are always in. So if you really consider like, on bottom, just keep your elbows in and seal off. Like he figures it out. He's a smart kid. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah, like we're especially this year, like I mean, our team is pretty close. Like we pretty much do everything together. I mean, and like obviously being on the trips, like you get different, um, like
Man.
yeah, kind of like yeah. So it's cool. I feel like we all have funny moments, but yeah, he's definitely up there.
All right. Next question. What is your guilty pleasure food?
Guilty pleasure food. I mean, ice cream's awesome. So that's something. I think if I wasn't really wrestling as much and doing so many workouts, like pizza would be. I mean, pizza's good. Like I'm Italian too, so I like pizza, pasta, like all that stuff is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like prime.
Okay. Who is your favorite artist to listen to?
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty diverse with like the things I like. I'll listen to rap, but then I'll also listen to country, and so like I don't know if I could pinpoint.
Fair enough.
I guess when I'm wrestling, it's usually something calmer. Like I said, country. Like I'll listen to like some island music too, just to like calm me down. It seems kind of silly, but like
Uh,
I work myself up a lot, so it's like sometimes I gotta just bring myself back, kind of.
sure. Describe your style or mindset in one word.
That's tricky.
Yeah.
I think I'll just say intense because I feel like
Yeah.
even if I'm like dead tired, I'm still going forward for the most part. I mean, I don't. I depends
Yeah.
on what other people see, but that's how I try to view it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, last one of this segment. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of folk style wrestling?
Um, Probably Kyle, probably Kale, Coach Kale.
Yeah,
Um, I think Bo's up there, and I'll put Zane.
but I don't hate the vote take at all.
Yeah, because well, you got to think too. Like the years that some of those guys lost. I mean, they're still growing up. They're still like kind of kids, and I think I'm older than they were at those times. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of how I view it. Is like they started super early, and it's like that. I mean, and they were still figuring it out. They
yeah.
were still being guys. So
I Coach Kale's cookie.
N- uh, not yet. Marcus has had them and he likes them, so that's what I
Are
know
they
about those.
protein? Like, what are they? Like a healthy?
Yeah, so they're a health cookie, and there's different components to it. I think for us, we don't like obviously after Wayne's, you don't want to eat too much because it really doesn't do much for you, right? And I think the way Coach Kale viewed it is just we need to have something just so these guys aren't like it's more of a mental thing than anything when you step off the scale.
Yeah.
Um, So that's just kind of how I think we're looking at it.
Sure.
I don't know too much. I kind of get kept out of the loop. The
Yeah.
coaches do their thing and I do mine. Like,
All right, moving forward in this next segment called Off the Mat. This has nothing to do with wrestling. So, what are your hobbies that you've picked up off the mat?
well, I don't know if this is a hobby per se, but so I go to Bible study with the Mirasola twins. And I feel like that's taken up a big portion of my life because obviously we're super busy, right? So, I've been trying to focus on going to like I go to church on Sunday every Sunday now, or at least that we're here. Um, so that those are things I've tried to prioritize. Is just like leaning into my faith more and kind of just like just the whole idea of appreciating stuff that I have. Is super big. Obviously, we'll go hang out at like Connor's and then we'll get food together and stuff like that. Just normal stuff, kind of. I mean, we don't really have like any hobbies. It's like it kind of changes. We'll go bowling
Sure.
one week. We'll go eat. So like it's usually
Just
just
hanging
stuff
out with
like that.
friends.
Yeah, that's usually most of it.
What's the go-to restaurant to get food?
There's so many in State College. I feel like I could definitely give three, but there's not like one. Obviously like anywhere Chipotle is good. Um, but we have like a Mexican place here called Plaza. And that place is really good. And then like sushi's not like a big thing in State College, but Tadashi's usually where guys go for that.
Yeah, I'm a big sushi guy.
And then there's one pizza spot that I think is decent. It's Benny Leon's, and it's like a giant slice. Like it's like I don't know, they're like the size of a newborn baby. I think they're like they're crazy. I mean they yeah,
That's
the one
massive.
slice is just a full like personal pizza. So
That's awesome. All right.
yeah.
When you're not training and you're back home, what does a full day in your life actually look like? Walk me through it, the routines, the people you see, the moments that help you reset mentally and physically.
Yeah. So what's kind of crazy? I grew up in the Lehigh Valley, so obviously I spent a lot of time there growing up, and all my friends were from there. And then my sister, she was traveling because she does gymnastics, so she's moved gyms a lot. So she was in Delaware, and then she was in Texas. And then she's now training in Florida, or was before she went to college. So my family got a home in Florida, and we recently sold our Pennsylvania house. So if I went home, I would probably be on like a boat
Yeah.
or somewhere near Tampa or Clearwater, and I would get like a beach experience for a little while, which is pretty cool.
Where is she? What college is she at?
She goes to Oklahoma for gymnastics.
Is she
So
better? Is she better than you in gymnastics versus you in wrestling?
uh it's close. I mean, she's competed kind of like imagine like the senior circuit for wrestling. She's
Sure.
competed at those events like with Simone and those girls and stuff.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah.
yeah, so she's a
She's actually
beast.
really good.
Yeah, she's pretty decent, but yeah, so I think it's interesting too because she graduated a year early to go to Oklahoma, so she's pretty smart. She figures things out. So
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure your parents are really busy.
yeah, I mean it's we growing up too, like traveling every weekend. My dad with me, usually my mom with my sister. So it was just that's just kind of how we grew up. And I think now it's cool that I get to kind of do my own thing because like I don't know. I just feel like I'm a pretty independent kid anyway. Like just because I had to do so much growing up, and I liked it. Like I was never
Yeah.
forced. Um, but like I would always ask, like, "Hey, can we go to Tulsa? Can we go to this? Can we go to that?" So this is like just wrestling here is like kind of it's kind
Yeah.
of like similar. I don't know.
Absolutely, and the freedom from high school to, I mean, I'm not sure how much different like prep school and stuff was, but there's a
Right.
lot of freedom here in college compared to, high school, whether it's classes, it's a whole lot less structured in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
We have 3 questions left. What is your major and what would you like to do after graduating?
Yeah, so I'm currently majoring in journalism, broadcast journalism. So I'm kind of on the fence. The thing with Penn State is we don't have a pre-law program. But I'm
Okay.
kind of thinking of maybe becoming an attorney. I am not sure yet, but
There's
I've
no
kind of thought
pre-law
about
at
it.
Penn State?
No, we like there's a law school like nearby, but we don't have like a pre-law, which is
Wow.
interesting because they have everything else. Like
Yeah.
it's just silly, but yeah, so they don't really have that. So I'm kind of just right now. I'm gonna just get my GPA as high as I can for journalism, and then apply to a law school after, if that's what I want to do. If not, I mean, I've also kind of messed with the idea of doing MMA after, and my mom does not like that. But
Yeah, moms hate the idea, but
yeah, I
yeah,
feel
I
like I'd
guess
be pretty decent at it.
yeah, for sure. I mean, wrestlers rule it, like the UFC. But what would you like to? Is wrestling in your career post college?
Oh yeah, like I mean, I'm obviously gonna wrestle for as long as I can, but you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
And like I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen a year from now, let alone however long that. I mean, 4 years. Yeah, so like, who knows really? But I'm just gonna kind of just take it day by day and then see how things work out.
what is the biggest struggle you have faced off the mat?
Um, I kind of talked about it a little bit. I would say just having to be so independent because I mean, growing up, like obviously my parents couldn't be there all the time; they had to work, and then I would still want to go to tournaments, or my sister would travel, so it'd be like kind of just like trying to find ways. Like if I would go with my uncle, like okay, now I have to do things without my parents, so being able to think kind of on my own and just like I feel like I'm pretty good at getting through adversity. So if there's something that comes up, it's like I'm just gonna run right through it. Like I try not to, beat myself up or anything like that. Just kind of find a way regardless of the circumstances.
Short term memory.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last question is, it can be short or whatever, but what is your message to those who are listening, fans or not fans?
Yeah, I would just say, obviously Penn State wrestling, we're pretty cool, so come watch us and like anyone who's watching that supports us, thank you for your support.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's all we have for this episode of Top Talent Talks. Huge shout out to Nate Desmond for being our first guest. Thanks for coming on, man. I'm
Yeah,
your
thanks for
host,
having me.
Peyton Brown, and we'll see you next episode.